Hey guys, Plonk here with another challenge video. As you may have seen, I've made a few videos on the ROM hack Blazing Emerald. This is one of my all-time favourite ROM hacks, and in my opinion is better than the original Emerald version. Well, the creator of this ROM hack recently released a new version with a bunch of new features, new regional forms which will be the focus of another video soon, and much more. As you may or may not know, this game has an increased shiny rate, with a shiny charm-like item as well, so you know what that means. Today we'll be beating Blazing Emerald 1.6 using only shiny Pokemon. The rules are as follows. Only shiny Pokemon may be used in battle. I can catch other Pokemon for HM should I need them, but that's it. No items in battle, and I'll be playing this game's hard mode. This makes you play in set mode and imposes level caps as well. This should definitely help make this challenge a little more, well, challenging. In case you've missed it, I've already done a shiny only run on this game before, so make sure to check that one out if you haven't seen it already. The good thing about shiny only runs though is that they're very unlikely to have the same Pokemon as each other, so this challenge will still be different from last time. Quick shout out goes to these people for finding the Dabbing Delibird. Comment down below with the timestamp if you see him and you might get featured next time. Also, comment down below with the name for him. I'll pick the best name to officially name our mascot. I'm basically just getting bored of saying Dabbing Delibird. Alright, let's see what fate's in store for me at the hands of the shiny gods this time. Let's do this. I start the game, choose the hard mode, and custom starter options. I also name my character Usagi. Comment down below if you get the reference. The custom starter option gives you a huge array of starters to choose from, including every starter from generations 1 through 3, and a bunch of other Pokemon too, including some new regional forms. The starter I decide on in the end is Totodile. It was my first ever Pokemon in a Pokemon game, so it holds a place in my heart. Much to my surprise, it really doesn't take long to find a shiny one either, only about 5 minutes. I was expecting to hunt for much longer. It's got a new ability in Strong Jaw as well, so this should be a great Pokemon for the run. Let's head straight to the first gym. Roxanne starts with an Aeron who goes down to a couple of water guns after lowering our speed with a Rock Tomb. Geodude is an easy one-shot, and last up is a new regional form of Mareanie. It's a rock poison type and is more defensive than offensive, so a few water guns and mud slaps take it out without much issue, and we win the first gym badge. Nice and easy start there. I evolve Totodile into Croconaw, and before facing the second gym, I decide to find another shiny. I head to Granite Cave as there's a good selection here including Aeron, Sableye and Hoenn Dunsparce, and as luck would have it, that's what we end up finding. I have already used one of these in a video before, so I know just how good it can be, but this time it's a shiny. For those of you who don't know, it's an electric normal type in this game and it has an evolution, turning it into an electric dragon type. Definitely something I'm gonna want. We then take on the second gym leader Blake, who I'm told is actually a male. Fair enough. He starts off with Murkrow, so I lead with Dunsparce. We easily one-shot with a single spark after taking over half from a pursuit, and next up is Sneasel. He hits another pursuit, leaving us on just 3 HP, but we hit back with another spark and we actually get the paralysis as well. This means we can land one more before fainting to an icy wind. I send in Croconaw and finish it off with a water gun, and last up is Houndour. He does hit us with a Howl boosted pursuit, but we're more than capable of taking the hit, and 2 water guns take it out for the second gym badge. Before facing Watson, we need to fight May. Pikachu is first, so I lead Dunsparce, as she tries to use Thunderbolt, but we have Lightning Rod, so it doesn't hurt us. You'll see more of this soon. We can take it out in a couple of body slams, but we do get paralysed in the process. Clefairy is next, and we somehow outspeed it and still hit another body slam, and most of the time she just chooses Metronome, so we don't really have much of a problem taking it out in a couple more hits, and last out is Eevee. We just about survive a fake out and quick attack, allowing us to go for one more body slam and even paralyze it before we faint to another quick attack. Croconaw can take it out from there in a couple of bites though, so we win without much of a problem. The level cap here is actually 30, so I'm able to evolve Croconaw into a Feraligatr before the electric gym. This definitely gives us a better shot of victory. Turns out we didn't even need him though, as Dunsparce has Lightning Rod as we say, as well as the move Dig. 90% of the time, Watson just tries to use electric moves on us for some reason, so we don't get hit even once and slowly take out his entire team one by one. His final Pokemon Magnezone does survive a dig and actually confuses us with a Supersonic, but then he goes right back to using electric moves, so one more dig takes it out, and we win the third badge without losing a single hit point. These gyms have been pretty easy so far. I arrive at Falaba Town and decide to find another shiny. I was hoping for a fire type here, as you can find Growlithe, Houndour and a regional variant of Skarmory. Unfortunately though, you can also find Spinder, which is what we end up finding as our shiny. Who knows, it might be useful. We then take on Maxi, but this fight was another easy one. Feraligatr has Liquidation, which is super effective against his whole team, so we take them out one by one and win with ease. Flannery was a similar story. We outspeed and one-shot her Larvesta and Camerupt, and her Rapidash also goes down in one hit after landing a double edge. Her final Pokemon Skarmory does outspeed and hit a couple of Flare Blitzes, but 2 Liquidations knock it out, winning us Gym Badge number 4, continuing the trend of easy gym fights. The next level cap is 40, which just so happens to be the level that Dunsparce evolves. We now have a much improved Drasparath, which should definitely be useful against Norman. Speaking of Norman, he was definitely the hardest gym fight so far. Linoon is first, so I start with an Ancientpower with Drasparath, and we actually get the stat boost. This allows us to easily take a Body Slam and finish it off with a Thunderbolt, and next up is Slacking, who takes half from a Thunderbolt, before taking us out with an Earthquake. I send in Feraligatr and lower its defense with a Rock Smash while he's loafing around, but his ability does heal him though, meaning he does survive a Liquidation the next turn, but he can't take another one so it goes down, and next up is Ursaring. Liquidation's gonna be a 2-shot and we actually survive the incoming Thunder Punch, so we easily take it out with another one, and next up is Blissey. Its paper thin physical defense means we can one-shot it though, and his final Pokemon is Exploud, who takes big damage but finally takes us out with a Hyper Voice. Now victory rests on the shoulders of a Spinder, so I'm not too confident. We do survive a Hyper Voice and go for Dynamic Punch, but we miss. We then survive a second Hyper Voice on just 2 HP, and thankfully we don't miss this time, but it just falls short of a KO. Of course he does get confused though, and he actually hits himself too, meaning we can knock it out with a Dizzy Punch for the win. That was about as close as it gets. We then take on May once again, but she wasn't a threat. Drasparath takes out her first 2 Pokemon Raichu and Clefable without much issue, but her Espeon does knock us out with an Ice Beam after taking a Thunderbolt. Feraligatr can take a Psychic though and finish it off with a Bite. Wow, even in this game, May is a pushover. Before facing the 6th gym, we can actually obtain the Shining Gem. This doubles our chances of finding a shiny, making our odds 1 in 500. I complete a few puzzles and we receive our reward. It immediately starts working as well, as I attempt to find a new shiny to the right of Fortree City, and literally on the 4th encounter, we find ourselves a shiny Heracross. It might not be useful against a flying gym, but it definitely will be a great addition for the rest of the game. We then take on Winona, but this fight was definitely on the easier side. Pelipper and Aerodactyl both fall to Drasparath's Thunderbolt, and next up is Hoenn and Dodrio, which is a flying ground type. I need to switch out, so I send in Heracross, basically just as death fodder, so I can get a free switch into Feraligatr. We get outsped and hit by a powerful Brave Bird, but we can hit back with a Frostbite, which is a new Ice-type biting move added to this game. It easily takes it out, and her next Pokemon Tropius is also 4 times weak to Ice, so easily faints as well, and her final Pokemon is a Malarkey, which is a new Farfetch'd evolution. She outspeeds, hitting a Fake Out and Brave Bird, but Feraligatr is just bulky enough to survive, and one more Frostbite seals the deal, winning us badge number 6. I head to Mount Pyre and decide to find my 5th team member while I'm here. It really doesn't take long either for us to find a shiny Chimecho. This is another Pokemon I've never used before, so it should be interesting. A Psychic type is always a good thing as well. We then easily defeat Maxi once again, as his team is exactly the same, and move on to the 7th gym leaders Tate and Liza. They start with Hypno and Grumpig, so I send out Feraligatr and Heracross. Grumpig gets one-shot by a crit Megahorn, and Hypno takes big damage from a bite. Not only that, but he also flinches as Alakazam comes out, but it just goes for Future Sight as Heracross takes it out with a single knockoff. Hypno gets taken out by another bite as well, as they send in Hoenn and Reuniclus and Lunatone next. Megahorn deals Reuniclus and their last new Pokemon Solrock comes out, and it has the ability Drought, so Feraligatr's Liquidation doesn't do too much damage. They set up a Calm Mind as I go for a Megahorn, but we end up missing. Feraligatr can finish off the Lunatone with a bite though, and now it's a 2-on-1, as the Future Sight hits Heracross for decent damage. Solrock only went for Calm Mind though, so a combination of knockoff and bite take it down, and we win the 7th badge, just one more left to go. Before facing the final gym, we have to beat Archie. This wasn't a particularly difficult fight though. Drasparath barely survives a Frostbite and takes out Mightyena in 2 Thunderbolts, and next up is Dewgong. Thunderbolt leaves it in the red as we're taken out by an Ice Punch, so I send in Chimecho who takes a pursuit and finishes it with a Shockwave. Sharpedo does knock us out with a Liquidation though, so I send in Feraligatr, set up a Dragon Dance, barely survive 2 crunches, and take it out in 2 hits. His final Pokemon is his own Feraligatr, but we get insanely lucky, getting a flinch on the first bite and a crit on the second to finish it off for the win. A little bit cheap, but I'll take it. I decide to catch a 6th team member in the Sky Pillar. I have something in particular that I want, but we end up finding a shiny Banette, which isn't that. I'll keep it around for now, but I decide to play my ace card, which is the Luster Ball. This turns any Pokemon you catch into a shiny, and the Pokemon I want is Aerodactyl. It's a great Pokemon normally, but in this game it has the Rock Head ability, and can learn 2 amazing moves, Brave Bird and Rubble Rush, a new Rock type move that has recoil. This is the perfect complement to our ability, so I'm really looking forward to using this. I also replaced Spinder with Banette, as let's be honest, Spinder really hasn't been doing much recently. Sorry little guy, but you're in the PC now. We then take on the 8th and final gym. Normally it's a water type gym, but in this game it's an ice gym, which actually makes sense considering the layout. Glalie faints to 1 Brick Break from Heracross, and next up is Frostlass. Draining Kiss does about 40% as we bring it down to the red with a knockoff, and I switch into Aerodactyl, but we get insanely lucky as he misses not 1 but 2 Blizzards. We can finish it off with an Iron Head from there, and Walrein is next, so I go for Rubble Rush, bringing it all the way down to the red as he hits back with a Waterfall. We too survive on red health though and finish it off the next turn. Mamoswine is next though and lives in Iron Head comfortably, taking us out with a Double Edge, but Heracross can come in and clean up with a single Brick Break, and his next Pokemon Chrysalix is 4 times weak to fighting, so also goes down. Last up is Weavile, who does KO with a Slash, so I send in Feraligatr who shrugs off a Night Slash, and KOs from full HP with a critical hit Waterfall, earning us the 8th and final gym badge. Now we can finally face the Elite Four. Before that though, we have to face Wally. He wasn't too difficult either though, as his first Pokemon Altaria hits a weak Dragon Claw, but Feraligatr can set up a Dragon Dance and KO from full health the next turn with a Frostbite, and we're also able to outspeed an Oko Roserade. We're not done yet though, as we even do a hefty chunk to Magnezone before being knocked out by a Thunderbolt, but Aerodactyl can outspeed and finish it off with an Earthquake. Aerodactyl basically sweeps the rest of his team as Delcatty goes down to a crit Brave Bird, Gardevoir faints in 2 Iron Heads thanks to a flinch, and Gallade gets one shot by a Brave Bird as well. Nice and easy fight. We now arrive at the Pokemon League, but I want to catch one last Pokemon before we face the Elite Four. Banette's not really been very useful, and Victory Road has a plethora of great Pokemon available, so I decide to look around. It doesn't take us very long to find our shiny, which ends up being a Machoke. We do already have a fighting type, but I still think it could be useful for the Elite Four. I catch it, buy a Link Stone at the game corner, and evolve it into a Machamp. I then do some training, so here's a look at our final team. Overall, considering just how little choice we got in our team members here, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. In my opinion, it's actually better than the team last time as well. The Elite Four is going to be tough though, as our level cap is 60 and the Champions Pokemon go far above that, but let's give it a shot. Phoebe's first and starts with a Hoenn and Emolga, an amazing design by the way. I lead with Feraligatr and set up a Dragon Dance as she hits a weak Night Slash. From there I can outspeed and one-shot with a Crunch, and to be honest, the rest of her team goes down the same way. Feraligatr really is a beast in this game. Honestly, we 1 or 2 shot her entire team with Crunch. Next up is the Grass-type user Serena, who leads with a Drought Sunflora. Aerodactyl can effortlessly outspeed though and KO with a single Brave Bird, and next up is Ferrothorn. I switch in Chimecho as we have Flamethrower, but we do get hit by a Thunder Wave, but we still outspeed, and we can easily one-shot with a Flamethrower. Next up is Hoenn and Shuckle, and I know how bulky this guy is, so I set up a Tail Glow to boost my special attack first, and then start hitting Psylight, a base 95 power psychic move. She does get some health back from a Leech Seed and Ingrain, but 2 hits are all we need, and next up is Meganium. I send Aerodactyl back in to take a Petal Dance before one-shotting with a single Brave Bird, and that's all we need to deal with her last 2 Pokemon, Vileplume and Reuniclus as well, winning us the second match of the Elite Four without any real problems. The third member of the Elite Four is actually Bede, you know, the guy from Sword and Shield who I thought was an old lady. He uses Fairy types and leads with Wigglytuff, so I start with Chimecho once again, and set up a couple of Tail Glows. With 2 under our belt we can one-shot the Wigglytuff, but next is Hoenn and Bisharp, which is a Steel Fairy type, who easily takes us out before we can attack. Heracross can deal some big damage with an Earthquake, but we get destroyed by a Play Rough, so I send in Drasparath who can finish it with a Flamethrower. Sylveon's next, and we actually get a critical hit Thunderbolt to bring it down to low health, but he hits back with a Draining Kiss, which actually heals him quite a bit and takes us out. Aerodactyl can take it out in 2 Iron Heads though from there without taking much damage, and next up is Azumarill. This thing cannot have huge power, as we live not 1 but 2 super effective Aqua Jets, and KO in 2 Brave Birds. I was honestly shocked when I saw how little that did. Next up is Goulossil though, who is an absolute unit of a Pokemon. Iron Head deals small damage as we get taken out by a Maya Surge, so I send in Feraligatr who actually gets a flinch with Waterfall, allowing us to bring it down to red health as he hits a Dazzle Dust, which is basically a Fairy type Super Fang, always dealing 50% of your HP. One more Waterfall is enough to finish it off, and Bede's final Pokemon is a Togekiss. Frostbite hits for big damage, but it isn't enough, but he actually misses a Thunder Wave, meaning we can outspeed the next turn, and take it out with 1 more Frostbite, winning us the match. Just 1 more Elite Four member left to face. I was expecting Drake to be the most difficult, but this just wasn't the case. Again, thanks to Feraligatr. Dragonite is first and goes for Fly, meaning we miss our attack, and then he hits for decent damage as I hit back with a Frostbite. This brings it down to yellow health, and I know he's going to use Fly again, so I take the opportunity to set up not 1 but 2 Dragon Dances. We can then survive another Fly just about, and finish it with another Frostbite, and then we go on a bit of a rampage. We outspeed and one-shot his Drasparath, Flygon, Garchomp and Salamence, and he's down to his last Pokemon, Hoenn and Dragapult. Even at +2, a Waterfall only deals about 50% damage, as we finally get taken out by a Dragon Pulse. We absolutely dominated with Feraligatr though, so I'm not worried. Aerodactyl is just the ticket we need to win, as we can outspeed, hit a massively powerful super effective Rubber Rush, which easily takes it out, winning us the fight. Now all that's left is the champion Wallace. I attempt the same strategy as before, leading with Feraligatr as he starts with Whiscash. I set up a Dragon Dance and can then take it out in just 2 Waterfalls after being hit by an Earth Power, and next up is Hoenn and Tentacruel, who unfortunately has Thunderclap, a priority electric move. He cuts our sweep short, so I send in Machamp for its debut battle, only for it to be instantly KO'd by an Overcharge. Great job, Machamp. He does get paralysed by his own attack though, allowing me to switch into Heracross and outspeed, bringing it down to a Sliver with Earthquake. He actually gets fully paralysed as well, so we can take it out with another one, and next up is Lapras. Brick Break doesn't do that much as it does have multi-scale, and we're hit by a powerful Blizzard. We survive though and hit another Brick Break, leaving him on a Sliver. I thought we had some more great luck as he misses a Blizzard, but he eats a Salac Berry which makes him faster than us, and we faint the next turn. Not much can outspeed Aerodactyl though, and we finish it off with a Brave Bird, and next up is Crawdont, so I send in Drasparath. We can easily tank a Crabhammer and take it out with a single Thunderbolt, and next up is Ludicolo. I switch Aerodactyl back in on an Ice Beam, which probably wasn't the smartest idea, but we still live, and in return one-shot with a single Brave Bird. Now we're down to his final Pokemon Milotic, which is 15 levels higher than my team. I can land 1 Brave Bird for about 40% as we get taken out by an Ice Beam, and I'm not sure that Drasparath can take it out from this range, so I send in Chimecho first just to be safe. He outspeeds us, hitting a Raging Waves, which is basically a Water-type Petal Dance, but we survive and hit 1 Thunderbolt for respectable damage, before being taken out by another one, and now it's a one-on-one situation. Thankfully though, Drasparath can easily outspeed, and Thunderbolt is more than enough to finish it off, so Milotic goes down and we beat Wallace, and beat Blazing Emerald using only Shiny Pokemon. Well, our team of Shiny Pokemon have beaten the main game, but you know we're not done just yet. In Blazing Emerald you face Red instead of Steven and Meteor Falls, and his levels are ridiculously high. I wanted to try and win at level 60 though, and it took some trial and error, but we actually got there in the end. Pikachu is first and is level 100. I start with Frostbite and go for Ancientpower, as we're hit by a weak Thunderbolt. We don't do too much damage, but we do get the 5% stat boost, which allows us to not only outspeed it the next turn, but also KO with the Dragon Pulse. Charizard is next, but is 4 times weak to rock, so falls to a single Ancient Power, and next out is Blastoise, who faints to a critical hit Thunderbolt. Things are just falling into place. Lapras is next and takes big damage from a Thunderbolt before finally taking us out with a Blizzard. Aerodactyl can easily outspeed and finish it off with a Rubble Rush though, and next up is Snorlax. I switch into Heracross because I need Aerodactyl for his final Pokemon, but he goes for Blizzard and actually misses. This means we can outspeed and deal a huge chunk of his health with a Brick Break, but he hits back with a critical hit Giga Impact to absolutely wreck us. I send in Machamp for his second major battle, and go for a Dynamic Punch which just falls short of a KO, but it does confuse him. Not that this matters though, as he has to recharge anyway, so we can just take it out the next turn, and now we're down to Red's final Pokemon, Venusaur. We get outsped and KO'd by a single Sludge Bomb, so I send in Aerodactyl once again, and go for Brave Bird. It isn't quite enough though, and he almost takes us out with a single Giga Drain, but even with the health he recovered from it, he can't withstand a second Brave Bird, so it goes down and we beat Red with Pokemon over level 30 levels lower than his. And with that we finally win the run. Well, I gotta say, this new version of Blazing Emerald is a lot of fun. If you haven't tried this game yet, then now is definitely the time. I've linked to the game's Discord server below, where you can find links to download the game for yourself. Honestly, I can't recommend this game enough. Let's talk about our team for a second. I was honestly really impressed with it overall. Feraligatr was an absolute beast with Dragon Dance and 2 biting moves boosted by Strong Jaw. Drasparath was a reliable special attacker, and even Chimecho was better than I expected. Heracross was a great physical attacker, and Machamp was also a team member. By far though, my favourite team member was definitely Aerodactyl. It's insane how much better a Pokemon can be when you just give it 1 or 2 moves. It already had Rock Head if I'm not mistaken, but pair that with Brave Bird and Rubble Rush, and you have yourselves a terrifying sweeper. I am so glad that I used my Luster Ball on it. It honestly was the MVP of the team. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please consider hitting that like button, and subscribing if you're new around here. We're trying to hit 40,000 subs by the end of the year, and we've just hit 34,000. Thank you for your support everyone, it really means a lot. If you haven't subbed yet, then I hope this video has persuaded you to do so. I've got loads of videos coming up in the future that you won't want to miss. Comment down below with what challenge you'd like to see me take on next. I've got more hardcore Nuzlocke on the way, as well as another Blazing Emerald video featuring the new regional forms coming soon, so stick around for that. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, so as always, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.